Dear student, I am Dr. Mohammad Nasser Malik. Today I will teach you alkaloid, their definition, properties and occurrence. So you know what is alkaloid, their definition, properties and occurrence in this slide. Okay, this is the disclaimer. All the student content material provided here is only for the teaching purpose. Okay, so recapitulation is what is alkaloid, their chemistry, their properties. Okay. So objective of this presentation, student will learn introduction, definition, description, test of alkaloids, physical and chemical properties, occurrence of the alkaloids. Introduction. Uh, Plant have been one of the most important source of medicine since the beginning of human civilization. There is a growing demand for the plant-based medicine, health products, pharmaceuticals, food supplement, and their cosmetic. According to World Health Organization's survey, 80% population living in the developing country rely almost exclusively on a traditional medicine for their primary health care needs. In addition, herbs have provided a sum of very important life-saving drugs used in the modern medicine. However, among the estimated 2,50,000 to 4 lakhs plant species, only 6% have been studied the biological activity. About 15 have been studied the phytochemically. So the role of plant in the daily life is very essential. There are different types of herbal drugs which are useful for the different types of disease like anti-cancer, immunomodulator, anti-rheumatic. Okay. So definition of the alkaloid. Alkaloid, the term alkaloid, alkali-like is commonly used in the designated basis of heterocyclic nitrous compound of the plant origin that are physiologically active. The name alkaloid comes from the Arabic word for ash, alkali. Okay, so alkali-like. History, most of the notorious poisonous in the history of the civilization used by humanity of for the thousand of years. The first civilization to use them were probably for the ancient Sumerian and Egyptian. It is called vegetable alkali. So ancient time it is used as a vegetable alkali. Okay, the term alkaloid was coined by the Meissner, a German pharmacist, in 1819. Dorsen, French chemist, isolated narcotin in 1803. Sterner 1803 isolated morphine from the opiums. These all are the alkaloids. For the example, basic nitrous compound alkaloids are basically basic nitrous compound contain one or more nitrogen in their heterocyclic ring system having marked physiological action on human and animal when used in a small quantity or naturally occurring nitrogen substance which is isolated from the plant and react like bases. So they are basically nitrogenous compound. They're in the ring or outside the ring. They contain nitrogenous compound. Okay. Fact about mandrake. Mandrake also named it Mandroga of cinnamon. Most of the magic plant. Fact about the mandrake early used in Egyptian 3,500 years ago. Grecians times considered as an extremely powerful aphrodisiac and fertility enhancer. Mandrake. Mentioned in the Quran and strictly forbidden. The sponge that have given to Jesus on the cross is said to contain mandora juice, playing a major role in the witchcraft, which is prepared mixture of extract of the henbane, isocyanide nagar, deadly nightshade, Atropa belladonna, and mandrake root to be applied on the skin or the genital organs. So this is the ancient times use of the alkali. The alkaloid represent very extremely group of secondary metabolites with diverse structure, distribution in nature, and important biological activity. An alkaloid is a cyclic compound containing nitrogen in a negative oxidation state, which is a limited distribution in the living organ. This definition includes the both alkaloid with nitrogen as a part of heterocyclic system and many exceptions with exocyclic such as colchicine or capsaicin. Generally, the function of secondary metabolites in the plant is not determined. Concerning the alkaloid, their protective mechanism against herbivorous animal and the possibly some parasite is assumed. In contrast, the plant can become the target for the insect that specialize in the alkaloid producing plant. example bark or tree. However, the strong physiological effect and the selectivity of some alkaloids opportunity for the utilizing the alkaloids in human medicine. So this is the basically properties. Alkaloidal description. As I discuss you, they contain nitrogen usually derived from the amino acid. Beta testing generally white solid exception nicotine is a brown liquid. They give a precipitate with heavy metal iodide. Caffeine purine derivative does not precipitate like most of the alkaloids. Alkaloid are the basic form of the water soluble. Most alkaloid are well defined crystalline substance which unite with acid to form in plant. They may exist in the free state. Test for the alkaloid. Most alkaloid are precipitated for the neutral or slightly acidic solution by drag and drop reagent which contain solution of potassium bismuth iodide which give orange colored precipitate. Mayer region potassium mercuric iodide solution give cream colored precipitate. Wagner reagent iodine in potassium iodide red brown precipitate. Hager reagent picric acid solution give yellow precipitate. So these are the basically test of the alkaloids. Physiochemical property of the alkaloid: molecular weight 100 to 900. Most bases which do not contain oxygen are liquid at room temperature like nicotine. Uh, while those that are do the solid, they are rare case of the colored. Most solid bases rotate in the plane of polarized light. Polarized light have high melting point. Normally are not soluble in water. Occasionally slightly soluble. Soluble in polar solvent or slightly polar organic solvent. Soluble in concentrate hydroalcoholic solution. Naturally occurring chemical compound containing basic nitrogen atom physiologically active, insoluble or aspiringly soluble in water, crystalline solid. A few are amorphous solid. Physical property: most alkaloid are crystalline solid. Some are volatile. Example nicotine. Non-volatile pilocarpine, hyoscine. Majority of alkaloids are colorless, but some are colored. Example colchicine and berberine are yellow. Canadine is in orange color. Solubility: like difference in the solubility used as a base for their isolation and purification from non-alkaloidal base. The following can be mentioned: both alkaloid bases salt in are soluble in alcohol. Generally, bases are soluble in organic solvent, and alkaloidal salts are soluble in water. So these are the basically physical property of the alkaloid. Chemical property: like salt formation due to their basic character, alkaloid react with acid to form salt. Strong bases form salt with very weak acid. Weak bases form salt with strong acid. Very weak bases form unstable salt like caffeine, narcotine, piperine. Effect of heat: alkaloid are decomposed by heat. Exception are strychnine and caffeine. Effect of light and oxygen: decompose when allowed to stand at a temperature above 70 degrees Celsius for a long time. Decomposition occur rapidly and easily when an alkaloid is in solution, when it is in the dry form. Okay. Function: poisonous agent protecting the plant against insect and herbivore, because most of the alkaloid are some poisonous in nature, so they protect insect and herbivorous plant. Herbivorous plant do not eat. End product of detoxification reaction representing a metabolic locking of the compound otherwise harmful to the plants. Regularly growth factor. Regulatory growth factor is very important for the sometimes they enhance the growth factor. Reserve substances capable of supplying nutrients or other element necessary to the plant economy. Okay. Form of alkaloid: there are different form of alkaloid like free bases, salt with organic acid like oxalic and acetic acid, salt with inorganic acid like hydrochloric and sulfuric acid, salt with especially like meconic acid in opium, quinic acid in cinchona, glycosidal form like solanine in solanum, Distribution in plant all part like in Datura, bark in Cinchona, seeds in Nux vomica, roots in Aconites, fruits in black pepper, leaves in Vinca, latex in opium. Other sources: castramine from a Canadian beaver. The Canadian beaver is the largest rodent in North America which contain alkaloid. Muscopyridine from musk of an deer. uh, Picoxanamine from the Pseudomonas aeruginosa in the bacteria. Occurrence and distribution. They occur in different types of plant family like Ranunculacea, Aconites, Leguminosae, Physostigmine, Lognaceae like strychnine and brucine in Nux vomica, Papaveracin, morphine, codeine, theanine in opium, Solanaceae in hyoscine and belladonna, Barbidaceae in berberine, berberis, rubiaceae in quinine and quinidine in cinchona, apocynaceae in reserpine, brovelphia, vincristine and viliblastin in vinca, liliaceae in veritidine like vertrum, claviceptivaceae like ergotamine and ergometrine in plant of ergot. There are different plants which belong to different families which also contain alkaloid as their active molecules. These are the references for this lecture: Trees and Evans, Varroy Taylor, some internet material, some research paper. So you read it, you study it, and if you have any confusion, any queries, any question, you can ask me. Thank you, student.